Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if spending more time in nature could actually help kids feel better and do better in school? Well, this new study dug into just that. So, the big question here is whether nature-based programs, things like gardening or outdoor education, can really boost the mental health and well-being of teenagers in school. We're seeing a lot of young people struggling with their mental health, and schools are looking for new ways to help. This paper looked at a bunch of studies that have already tried using nature to help students. They wanted to see what kinds of programs are out there, what happens when kids do them, and how good the evidence is. It is like they're trying to map out the whole landscape of nature in schools for mental health. To do this, the researchers checked tons of studies, sifting through thousands to find the ones that really fit their question. They looked for studies involving kids aged 10 to 18 who were part of nature programs in a school setting, and that aimed to improve their mental health or well-being. They even got advice from policymakers, teachers, and young people themselves to make sure their review was asking the right questions and looking at the right things. After all that searching and screening, they ended up with 22 studies, and what they found is actually pretty hopeful. These nature-based programs came in all sorts of flavors: school gardening, outdoor classes, conservation projects, even just spending time in green spaces. Most of them happened weekly, either right on school grounds or in nearby natural spots. So, what kind of good stuff did they see? Big improvements in mental health and well-being. Many studies reported that kids felt less anxious and stressed. They also saw better self-esteem and resilience, which is like having a stronger inner core to handle tough times. Even things like getting along better with others and feeling more connected to their school improved. And as you might expect, a lot of these programs also boosted how connected kids felt to nature itself. Now, what about learning? That is where things get a bit more mixed. While some studies saw small wins in things like science engagement and basic math skills, they didn't find much strong evidence that these nature programs made a huge difference in overall academic performance. So, it seems like nature is great for feelings and connections, but its impact on grades is less clear. When they looked at the quality of the studies, they found it was pretty moderate. This means that while the results are promising, there are some things we need to be careful about. For example, many studies had small groups of kids, and they didn't always have a comparison group to see if the nature program was truly the reason for the changes. Also, the ways they measured things were all a bit different, which makes it hard to compare studies directly. This is where the real story starts to unfold for us. The researchers are saying that while we don't have perfect proof yet, these nature programs do seem to be a good thing for teenagers' mental health. Things like feeling more connected to school and to nature itself seem to be key players, helping to make these programs work. They might even act as shields protecting kids when things get tough. But here is a crucial point. The study highlighted a big gap. They didn't find any research that specifically looked at how nature programs might help young people deal with new kinds of worries, like anxiety about climate change or eco-anxiety. As some call it, this is a growing problem for teens, and it seems like we're missing out on understanding how nature could be a solution for it. Now, let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses. A big strength is that many studies use different ways to show nature's benefits, from gardening to outdoor classes, which gives us a wide view. They also managed to get input from real-world people like teachers and students, which makes the research more grounded. On the flip side, a major limitation is that most of the studies were done in places like the United States, not the UK. This means what works there might not be exactly the same here, because our schools and kids are different. Also, the way they measured things like well-being or nature connectedness was so different from study to study. It's like trying to compare apples and oranges. So, what does this all mean for us, especially if you are a parent, teacher, or even a student? It means nature programs in schools are definitely worth exploring. They're not a magic bullet for grades, but they seem really good at helping kids feel less anxious, more resilient, and more connected to their school and the world around them. The researchers are calling for more solid research, especially in the UK, using stricter methods like randomized controlled trials or RCTs. Think of an RCT as the gold standard, where you randomly assign some kids to the nature program and others to a control group, so you can be more sure that the nature program itself is causing the good results. And for the future, they suggest we need to be clearer about what we're measuring. If we all use the same tools to measure well-being or how connected kids feel to nature, we'll get much better comparisons and understand what truly works best. There is even a thought that we could start widely implementing these programs now, and study them as they happen, especially with initiatives like the National Education Nature Park. It's really exciting to see science looking at these simple, accessible ways to support young people. It reminds us that sometimes the most effective solutions are right outside our door. So, what are your thoughts on nature programs in schools? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, Give us a like and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more explorations into the fascinating world of psychology and science. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who might find it useful. See you next time!